This video is sponsored by absolutely no one.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So as you can see, I am in a different location, and that is because we are being fucked over right now by tiny little vermin. But of course, I would all like to wish you all to be safe and practice social distancing. That's of course not going to be difficult for me, seeing as though I've practiced social distancing my entire life. And it is sad. So I had no choice but to move all of my shit up here in this garage, which is in the middle of nowhere.
There are literally no humans here. It's great.
Disclaimer, this is not my property. I do not own this property. Well, what do you think I'm a douche tuber? Like the scum of rice? Huh? You think I'm a spoiled, bratty, entitled little teenager who poses in front of sports cars and pretends that they own that sports car? Huh? You really think that? Well, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck LA, and fuck the Kardashians. You know, the funny thing about this whole thing is that from this moment this video is uploaded until whenever quarantine has ended, the thumbnails are no longer going to be those bright red walls that I have on my other studio, but instead they're going to be this very depressing, greenish, grayish, sluggish color, and it's going to be so fucking hilarious that the difference is going to be night and day without a doubt. So I've been scrolling down into my YouTube account and I've noticed that, well, I haven't done a review in a long fucking time. And so, you know what? Why don't I just review something that I've just recently got? So, that thing is right here. I said that thing is right here. Give it a second, hold on. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I just take a little nap. I'm sorry. Hold on, wait. Hold on. There. It should be good. Ow! Fuck. That thing is right here. Aha, here it is. There you go. So this here gorgeous little baby is, oh god, I just feel like a pedophile just saying that. I apologize. Oh god damn it. Hold on. I'm gonna go get run over by a bus. So this here gorgeous, beautiful thing is the Tama SPL black brass snare. And oh boy, I am so in love with this. Fun fact, the very first metal song I've ever heard in my entire life and on radio was Cyanide by Metallica. Suicide, I've already died. And one thing in particular about that song, and in that album in general, was the sound of the snare. And of course, not a really well produced album, I would still take it over that one. I just said a racial slur. Comment down in the section below and guess what I said. But nonetheless, the tone of the snare itself was something that caught my attention, and it's been my favorite sound ever since. But of course, I didn't want to just become a copycat and just go buy his signature snare. I wanted a snare that was relatively close to the same thing with the same body structure, but also make something that I can make my own. And the SPL Black Brass is something that definitely delivers in that department. Now this right here is the very first snare drum that I've ever owned. It came with my drum kit, and in comparison to the Black Brass, it definitely sounds like an embarrassment.
Ouch!
Okay, so shut the fuck up and play the snare already. Alright, jeez, I was just getting around to it. God, you don't have to be so mean and yell at me all the time. It's just fucking exciting, I'm telling you what. Now my one criticism, and it's not really a big major one, it's the snare skin that it came with. It was simply the snare skin that it came with. The snare skin I was not really a big fan of because since it was kind of thin, it sounded a little bit paperish, and so I replaced it with Evans Heavyweight, which have been my favorite ones ever since. And so with this snare skin and the entire body structure and heaviness of the entire snare, it definitely gives a big giant thud to the snare and to the entire kit as well too. Now I definitely recommend buying a case for this because the body structure of it is just absolutely gorgeous, and if god damn it and if you don't do that, then well, I have to say you are not fit to become a parent at all. This is what making a YouTube video is like. One thing that fascinates me about this snare is that I have it in the high tension setting right now with the snare skin, and it still packs a beefy bunch. Like, it does not sound at all like that very weak, high pitched, tight as fuck tinny sound that you can get from a snare with a smaller size, of course. But with this one, I still have a big giant explosion of sound. You can even scare the fuck out of birds with this. And also the reason why this snare drum cracks so much is because how many snare wires there are. I mean, just look at the size of that. No homo. So in conclusion, this snare is definitely worth of every purchase of it. This snare drum is worth every penny of your purchase. Go on and get one if you can in this fucking freaky ass time we are living in right now. I mean, expect the delivery dates to be way later, of course, obviously, but either way, it's definitely worth getting. It's definitely worth a try. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to always, until our government says so, practice safe distancing. The best way to go at it really is to just act like you're a germaphobe. I almost said homophobe. And for those of you who believe that COVID-19 is a lie, then by all means, stay outside. We don't need you. Wait, but then again, that does put the smart ones at risk as well. Not really a win-win situation there. I just said a racial slur. Comment down in the section below and guess what I said. Joke's on you, I didn't say shit, you fucking racist.